Ireland's Classic Hits Radio. How are you? It's Trina Mara. And the other day at the weekend, I saw a Sorted Affairs van in a shopping centre, and I said, this is a sign I need to get Kim back on the show. Hi, Kim. How are you?
Hi, how are you? Weirdly enough, we got so many photos that day. It was really creepy.
Did you?
Even my mum got one.
I think we're all stalking you. So listen to me. Tell everyone who doesn't know what a Sorted Affair is.
I'm Kim, and there's also Lynn. We are an organising and decluttering duo. We travel all around the country in our lovely little van. We're very hard to miss because it does say, "Are you ready for a sorted fair?" plastered along the back of it. So we do get some funny looks every now and again. But basically what we do is we can go in and we can organise your life. We'll take it all out, we'll organise it, and we will declutter with you and make sure that it's kind of working better for you going forward.
This is my worst nightmare, and yet you've made a job out of this where you actually want to do this for other people.
Yeah.
How do you not run out of steam? You're mad. You're mad.
We are mad. And everyone says that to us, but it's just so much nicer doing it for someone else. You know yourself, it's like, you go to the hairdresser. That's not my skill set. I'm just going to go to the hairdressers and get them to do it. So, don't be afraid to kind of reach out and ask for help is what we always say. And that's why we're here, and, we're flying. We're nearly 3 years old now, and it's just non-stop.
And obviously, I mean, there's a need for this because otherwise, you wouldn't be 3 years in business doing it. So a lot of people need your help. So many people listening might feel, oh, the house is in bits. I'm so badly organised, but I'm too embarrassed to get some help because surely this is something I should be able to manage and to do myself and run my own household.
We're so time poor at the moment. Like, you imagine tackling something like that. We can come in and we can have it done in a couple of hours or a day or whatever it may be that the task is in hand. If you were to try and do that, you're going to get disturbed by the kids. You're going to get distracted. You're also not going to know where to start. You're also, it's not your skill set. We're doing this in and out every single day, pretty much. So we're able to look at a problem and go, okay, I know exactly how to sort that. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Or if not, if you are going to DIY it, don't try and tackle all at once. That's probably the biggest mistake we see people doing is they go gung-ho and they go, right, I'm going to rip it all out, exactly like Kim and Lynn do. And then an hour later, you're completely overwhelmed. Someone's called you because they're hungry for the 50th time today. And before you know it, it's just going to get shoved back in again and put on the very long list of things to do. So, we are very, very time poor, and that's why businesses like ourselves are doing so well, because people would rather be spending that extra time that they have doing nice things with the family and leaving Kim and Lynn to do all the hard work.
Now, talk to me then about if someone's kind of on a budget. I mean, is this an affordable service to get?
It all depends on how big the need is, we would always say, depending on obviously where we have to travel to. But you're getting 2 experts in your home for the entire day, and what we can achieve in that time is amazing because we're not being disturbed by the kids. We're not having to go and answer the doorbell to whoever it is. But also, if it is a case of that we're out of budget, we absolutely understand that, and we'd love to be helping more and more people. We're actually just about to release our ebooks. So basically, we started a little course last year, and it went really well, but we were watching people on it, and we were noticing that they were only kind of picking and choosing certain, modules, so to speak. So they might be doing the kitchen and they might be doing the wardrobe, and they weren't looking at the other areas. So we were chatting to a few of them, and they were like, well, I actually just needed the kitchen sorted and the wardrobe sorted. That's all I needed the help with. So we've broken it down now, and we're going to release these little ebooks that you can download, and it gives all our tips and tricks, because the most common thing that people say to us is, I just don't know where to start. So we've got really little affordable ebooks. They'll be less than €20. You can download them to your phone, and it'll give you a step-by-step of exactly how to start, where to start, how to do it, where to donate to, where to get products if you need them, all that kind of stuff. So
it's the starting that's the problem, I think. And
it
so
really
many
is.
of us think that we need to head off and buy a load of storage, because storage is what's causing all the mess. It's not. It's not the lack of storage.
Not all the shopping. It's not at all. There's 2 things that are probably an issue in most homes, and it's probably a little bit too much shopping and not thinking about what we're buying and why we're buying it and how much we're going to wear it. And then, storage. The amount of homes that we have gone into and organised and decluttered and left them with like piles high of empty storage, baskets, organisers, you name it, because that was their solution. They were like, I'll buy the things to put the stuff in and that will solve all my problems. But it actually doesn't. Like, the best thing you can do is just start to downsize, so declutter. take a drawer, take your jeans, take your shirts, whatever it is, something small, and go through them and, you know, try to downsize. And then when you've literally gone through everything and you're happy that everything that's there, you love, you use, it needs to stay, then see what storage solutions you need, if you need any, you know.
We're full of this kind of, oh, what if I need that someday? And the reality is we're not going to, you're probably not going to.
No, I think it's built into us. I think it's a generational thing. Like, I remember Mum, she would have been like that, you know, oh, well, like, you know, what if someone needs it? Not even ourselves, not even our house, you know, and even when we used to work on home rescue, we used to see it a lot. Like, you'd have people with 2 or 3 toasters, and it'd be case, well, what if my one breaks because I don't maybe have the money to go and have to buy another one? Or what if Mary down the road needs a toaster, you know? So there is that mentality that's there, and I can completely understand it as well, especially if you're on a budget and, you know, you've 2 perfectly good toasters, and what if one breaks? You know, that kind of way. But
the
it's
stress
a case of like,
having all this extra stuff in your head, it's just not worth it.
That's it. That's what I was going to say. You have to weigh up the pros and cons. If your house is overwhelmingly cluttered and it's getting to you, it's going to affect your head, it's going to affect your sleep, it's going to affect your productivity. The list goes on. You have to just weigh up the pros and cons. And if it's all getting too much, it's time to say goodbye. And like, that toaster can go on to someone who doesn't have a toaster and will be very delighted with your lovely donation. Like, it's such an important part of what we do, is making sure that the things that people no longer need go on to lovely homes and great charities. And when we explain that to people as well, it really, really helps them let go, because they can kind of visualise, you know, that dress getting another chance to dance, or whatever it may be, or even baby items. Sometimes people struggle to let go of them, but when we tell them about some of the charities that we work with and what they do for, you know, women, they're just right here. Take it all, you know, they're ready to go then.
What we do, Kim, is we hold on to stuff so long that by the time we decide to let it go, it's wrecked. It's gone beyond use.
Yeah, Lynn literally just did that recently. She had kept stuff from baby number 1 in her mom's attic for just in case, and she was getting something done to the attic, and they went up there and she couldn't believe it. They were just all destroyed, but she'd completely forgotten about them, you know. So that's what we'll do at the time. You know, say for instance, if it is baby items, you know, you're emotional and you're like, oh God, and look, it's so cute and I really want to keep it. But go back in 6 months' time, or go back in a year's time and look at that stuff again. You're not going to feel the same way about it, and you might be able to reduce it a little bit more. So it's about kind of doing small, manageable tasks. We're not saying like tackle the whole house in one go. Just pick, you know, especially an area that's really giving you high stress. So it might be the kitchen, or it might be your wardrobe. You know, those are 2 really, really busy parts in any home, no matter what the situation, or no matter how many people are living there. Those are areas that need to work really, really well. Like, simply speaking, is your tea and coffee near your kettle and near your cups? Like, you shouldn't have to do 50 steps to make a cup of tea. It should be able to stand relatively in the one spot and reach everything you need. It's those kind of little simple tweaks and changes that'll give you back extra minutes, hours, weeks over the years, you know. So
do you find many households, Kim, that the wardrobes are already at full capacity, and therefore there's a bit of wardrobe going on as well?
Lots of wardrobes and husband wardrobe takeover, and spare room wardrobe takeover, and attic takeover. Like, we're seeing like a massive amount of overconsumption, like massive. And to a certain extent we can understand it, because like, even when we're on social media, it's been thrown in our faces. Anyone and everyone that you follow, whether you're following them for recipes or home makeovers, before you know it, they're offering you a pair of leggings and a link to click. Do you know what I mean? I mean it. It's so bad. Like, so I genuinely think like one of our top tips for people who are trying to stop shopping or shop less is to unfollow, because you know who you're following, who's making you buy these things.
Do you know what I'm finding? It's these blooming 10% off code, 20% off code. And you're sucked in.
That's it. It's that dopamine boost. You're made think, oh, geez, it's a great deal. And like, we all love a great deal, and that's great, but you have to stop and go, do I actually need it? Am I actually going to wear it? How many times am I going to wear it? Where will I wear it to? Do you know, that kind of way? We have to start thinking about all becoming a little bit more circular. Like, hit the bloody charity shops. We are donating the most incredible clothes to charity shops every single week, like mind blowing. And like we genuinely shop very, very little now ourselves anywhere else because we just get the bargains in there and we love it. Like tags on, like, do you know what I mean? Like really, really, people need to kind of change their way of thinking, and I would highly, highly recommend everyone just pops into the next charity shop that they walk past and has a little look, and I genuinely think you'd be so, so surprised.
There's a thing, isn't there, as well, speaking about, you know, for people who passed on, you're afraid or reluctant to get rid of their things, there's a thing, isn't there? Is it the Swedish death clear or whatever? There's something, isn't there?
Yeah, we were literally just talking about this yesterday. Lynn's beside me now.
Hello, Lynn.
My life, Trina. Yeah, it's literally how Lynn lives her life. You always say, if it stands still long enough and it's not being used, it's gone, you know. So, and we actually wrote down on paper yesterday that this whole Swedish house clearing versus the what if, you know, because that's what, you know, it's one extreme or the other, I think, in Irish households.
What if mentality is in holding on to things, or just in case mentality.
So what is this Swedish house clearing? What exactly is that?
It's basically, in a nutshell, it's having your house ready for, like, if you were to drop dead tomorrow, that your stuff is in order.
I was going to say, if I was to drop dead tomorrow, I'd die of embarrassment to someone going in to clear, but I'd already be dead.
You and 99% of the country, like, but do you know where it really, when we saw it hit home, was we were working with a client who had 25, 30 years worth of clothes and jewellery and everything that she loved and didn't want to get rid of and all the rest of it. But she had a husband and a son. And if anything was to happen to her, that stuff would just be either bagged and sent to a charity shop or thrown in the dump.
Yeah.
So it's about sort of preparing yourself. Like, if you really love these items and pieces, it's about sort of having them there, setting yourself up to know that they're going to the right places or whatever it may be. But basically, it's just having the house clear of shite, really.
Yeah. And to lessen the burden. To lessen the burden on the people who are grieving, and the last thing they need to be doing is sorting out your mess.
Yeah, and because, you know, some people don't even know what to do with this stuff. Like, for example, my dad passed away 7 years ago, and he was a telephone engineer and had so many tools and bits of wire and things and whatever. And it took my mum about 2 or 3 years. She just put them in the shed because she was like, I don't know what to do with these. Did they want them back? Did they want, like, do you know what I mean? It's just having some sort of order on your items.
And have you always been super organised?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were born
even as teenagers.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'll give you a laugh. When I was about 7, I wanted a hamster, and my mum told me that I had to go and make my own money for it. So I used to walk around knocking on houses and offering to clean their houses and cars for money, and I got my hamster. I saved up.
Okay, so no one was barking at you, get up there and clean that bedroom. It was already done.
Oh, I did it for fun. And like, even when we used to be playing in my friends' houses or whatever, they'd be sitting there playing with their Barbies, and I'd be really organising the wardrobe.
Okay, so how do the rest of us change a habit of a lifetime of being messy and disorganised? How do you start if you just don't have that kind of mind?
You just have to start small. It's a habit. In fairness, it's about changing your mindset. I genuinely haven't shopped in a regular shop in over 2 years now at this stage, because shopping actually makes me physically sick, because we see it so much, the overconsumption of things, that it just puts you off. Yeah. But like, once you start on that mindset of clearing things out, the feeling that you get from that,
it's 100% a feeling.
Yeah, it gives you that sense of pride. Your head is clear. There's no stress, no endless to-do list, and it's sort of catching. Like, we always say that when we finish a job, we leave the clutter book there, because our clients will always phone us and be like, oh my God, you won't guess what I did. I tackled the hot press or whatever, because it sort of gives you that whatever feeling, whatever rush you get from having a really...
We all know that feeling though, like, you know, when you
scrub
the kitchen or like, you know, you'll continue to go into that room and just look around and go, now we need to open the press and look at it and get that feeling. Yeah. You're chuffed with yourself. You're only short of inviting all the neighbours.
You're delighted if somebody knocks on the door rather than going, oh Jesus, there's someone at the door. You want people to come in.
our clients as well, like, especially when we do pantries and things like that, you know, where parts of your kitchen that will be exposed, they'd be like, I always have that. I nearly die when people come over and make sure it's closed, and now they're like, I'm going to leave that open and show everyone my pantry.
Look at me.
Exactly. It's just about that feeling and remembering how it felt like when it was organised, and just kind of bringing yourself back there, but also just giving it, you know, really small jobs, like task at a time, like just do a drawer or just do the cups or just do your jeans or just do the kids' teddies, whatever it may be. Just small little tasks so you get that feeling of you've won, you've achieved it, tick it off the list, because that's what's going to keep you going.
Yeah.
If you try to do too much, you're not going to finish it, and you're going to be like just going hard on yourself for the rest of the day.
And if you are in any way neurodiverse, like I have ADHD and my daughter has quite severe ADHD, and we cannot function. Like my energy in my house goes off the scale if the house is messy.
Really?
Because it's insane. And my son is like, he's somewhere on the spectrum as well, and it's just it causes chaos in the house because you don't know where you're going. You can't find things.
The stress of it all.
Extra pressure.
Terrible.
And then as a mom, I'm obviously with ADHD, it's frustrating because I can't focus until I'm in a clear space. You're getting snappy then with the kids because you're trying to do, tidy up all the mess and there's shit everywhere and you're just stressed out. And, so it's just eliminating stuff that does not need to be there.
Will help.
It's a time saver as well. You're getting up in the morning and you have to be, instead of this, wear the socks or it would do your head in, wouldn't it? But also, if you get to a point where you've done all the organising, it's keeping on top of it.
That's it. It's much easier then. It's just maintenance.
Than you think.
Yeah.
It really is. Like, as long as now, it's never going to work if you keep bringing in the level of items that you were previously into the house. You know what I mean? Like, you have to sort of, it goes hand in hand with watching your buying and watching what you're spending your money on and all of that sort of stuff as well. There's no point in doing a big, massive clear out and then you continue shopping on Shein every single week and in 6 months' time your house is back to square one again.
Yeah, I know.
It's really about developing a habit and being conscious of your purchases, conscious of what you're spending your money on, what you're bringing into your home. Do I really need this item? Is it going to add value?
I have a wardrobe and I would say 70% of the clothes in that wardrobe are too small, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like, one day I'm going to get back into them.
No.
Advice, please. No, gone.
Gone.
It's so nice, though. Some of the dresses are so nice.
I know, but I bet you, I was going to say, and I bet you don't feel nice when you look at them when you take them out and you go, that doesn't fit me. It's horrible. It's not nice. We're so mean to ourselves sometimes. Let them go. And if you need to buy new jeans because you've,
gone up a size
or down a size or whatever you have, then you just do that. And you let the stuff that doesn't fit go.
People say if you lose the weight that you'll want new wardrobe anyway, you'll want new stuff.
100%, you will. And
it doesn't need to be expensive either. Like, we work with some of the most amazing charities and you can get beautiful designer or vintage jeans or whatever it may be for a fraction of the price. So even if you feel like you're in between sizes, get rid of what's there. Go do a nice charity shop haul, pick yourself up a few staple pieces, and then that way, if you do lose the weight and you do give them back, you don't feel like you're losing out on anything because you've got a bargain in the first place anyway, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we always say that to people even who are expecting babies and all that kind of stuff. You're going to change so much over the next few months. Don't be going buying an expensive maternity wardrobe. Like, just go up a couple of sizes and check the charity shops, and then you can just donate them back or pass them on to friends. I mean, our maternity wear, I think, went through all 4 of our friends twice over because we really didn't care. It was like, do you have a dress that'll do me for a wedding? And I do think that attitude is gone as well. Like, I used to borrow everything. I used to get stuff from cousins. I used to be like practically waiting on my cousin to grow out of a pair of shoes because I had my eye on them. That was how we thought. Whereas now it's like, I'm going to go shopping this week, or I'm going to have a pennies haul this week, or I need to add stuff to my Shein. I think we need to start rethinking about what we wear and how we wear it and where we get it from, because otherwise we're just all going to be smothered in piles and piles of unwanted clothes.
I'm broke as well. You go into pennies for a pair of socks, you come out, you spend £100. So I'm glad to hear I'm not the only person that you've seen with a wardrobe full of stuff that doesn't fit them, but they're reluctant to let it go.
Nearly everyone, genuinely nearly everyone. And not everyone lets it go. Sometimes they'll just put it up high, but 9 times out of 10 they will listen to us and just say, do you know what, I think it's time to say goodbye.
Okay. If you have a whole house that you need to really get a big job, like you need to declutter, what room would you start on? Would you start upstairs or downstairs?
I would start in the kitchen, personally.
You start upstairs.
Yeah, I would start in the kitchen just because for me it's the place I spend the most time, and I would want that to kind of function well, and I know that would give me back time straight away.
My 2 big ones would be my bedroom and the living room. I want to be able to, when my kids have gone to bed, you get about, half an hour to yourself.
15 minutes if you're lucky.
We're looking at you're going 5, maybe.
Like, if I can get a quarter of a way through a Netflix episode, I'm doing well. But like, just to be able to go into a space that has things in it that are nice, that bring you joy, but the space is clear. You know, like you want, you need that
somewhere to
bedroom.
unwind.
And your bedroom the same. Do you know there's actually a statistic that you're something crazy, like 92% more likely to have nightmares if under your bed is full of crap.
Yeah, and your bedside locker. Yeah, it affects you don't realise it's the same.
It's all in your subconscious. So every time you look around a room and there are things there that aren't supposed to be there or that aren't making you happy, like your clothes or whatever it may be, your brain registers that as unfinished business. So it puts it on a subconscious to-do list. So even as you're trying to rest at night, your brain is registering all of these things that need to be done. Oh, I need to put that back in the bathroom and that needs to go in the bin. I need to buy another bottle of moisturiser, whatever the hell it may be. And it does. It plays on your mind.
Never thought of it like that. Now,
if everyone even just does their bedside locker tonight, they'll be doing well and they'll have a good sleep.
This really is the final question. I know I always say it is the final question. This really is. How do you not run out of steam?
We have each other, to be honest. Like we do. It's come 4 o'clock, we can't even talk. Like we always say, 4 o'clock is like our brains just shut down.
And you're wrecked by the end of the day,
Very intense, but we have each other to bounce off. We'll set a timer or we'll stick on a podcast just to keep you sort of going. But Kim's little trick is the timer. Like she'll set a 30-minute timer and be like, right, come on, let's see what we can get done in 30 minutes. Just to sort of take the, oh God, this is going to take forever.
Yeah, you know, we do get it. We get the overwhelm. We do go, oh my God, like, are we going to get this done? You know, and we always do, and it always surprises us. But like, it's very normal and very natural. But I love a timer, or else just last week I had to give Lynn a motivational talk, and I walked in. There was a team of us. There's actually 4 of us on that project, and I walked in and I was like, Jenny, Soph, do you need a motivational talk, or am I done now for the day? It does happen sometimes. We'll stand there and go, my God, but we are walking into homes with it like an insane amount of things in it, you know, and it does, it overwhelms us. So we totally get it. We totally get it.
I brought my 12-year-old on a job last week and she is still traumatised. She's like, how can somebody have that much stuff? She was like, Mum, I thought you had loads of clothes. And I was like, no.
Yeah.
But she just couldn't get her head around why you would have that amount of stuff. But I was like, that's just years of accumulating. And sometimes the bigger the house, the bigger the problem, because there's more areas for it to tuck it away and hide it away.
If you have a spare room or whatever, it becomes the junk room, doesn't it? You're almost better making sure that your spare room is set up as a bedroom that's ready if someone calls on the door and needs to stay tonight. It's not the junk room. Like, you just have it ready all the time.
You know what, it comes in handy for things like heavy winter coats during the summer or suitcases that need to be put away. It can function as a sort of holding room as well as that, but it just doesn't need to take over the entire room.
Isn't that great to think, actually, that your 12-year-old now, she's learned all this. She doesn't know any different. So when she's an adult, she'll have a home that will function really well.
Oh, completely, because that's the way we work. She has come to realise, especially with my other 2 kids, that when the house is messy, our life is messy and it causes chaos and it stresses everyone out in the house. So she keeps on top. Her room is immaculate and unbelievably well organised. That's just in her nature now. And the word sheen is banned from my house. They won't even say it to me anymore because I point blank, it's a curse word, use.
Not getting into it. No. Just not starting.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
No,
okay.
Definitely not.
For anyone who's trying to do this big job themselves, decluttering, how not to run out of steam, just start small. Give yourself,
definitely. And if they have a look at our Instagram page, so it's a.sorted.affair, we constantly post tips, videos, motivational talks.
There's a 30,000 clutter guide on there where there's 30 items listed, as in books, details, cutlery, whatever. And if you just pick one of them a day and just focus on that, it won't be long about coming around.
And less tea breaks maybe in between the decluttering. I'm an awful one for 5 minutes of decluttering than a tea break. Then you sit down.
Yeah, you need the good tunes or the good podcast. That definitely helps us get through it.
Kim and Lynn there from A Sorted Affair. And as I say, have a look at their Instagram. You might even see their van around the place like I did in Liffey Valley last week. Thanks so much, girls. I'll let you get back to it. It's Ireland's Classic Hits Radio.